Hey, YouTube, what you know good? He is the Reverend, and we're back with some more of that fresh art goodness. So, what are we working on today? Well, today we're working on illustration 26 for day 26 of October 2020, where I did 31 illustrations in 31 days, all original characters, either by me, or friends, or comrades, or fellow artists. We're back to one of my illustrations. One of my OCs. They're all illustrations done by me, but this is one of my personal OCs. And this is another one of those weird ones. Much like what happened in day 11, this is another one that was inspired by the weird stories I would write involving me and my friends back in high school. A One of my friends during our lunch sessions, which were only 30 minutes, which wouldn't be a problem, but it were not for the fact that the school was so packed with people that if you didn't pack your own lunch, by the time you actually got a lunch from the cafeteria, it was 5 minutes before your next class. But I digress. During our lunch sessions, my friend would occasionally draw something in his sketchbook, which is something I would normally do as well. But he also had this idea. He would This is the same guy who told me about the whole chocobo thing. I swear, sometimes his ideas are more local than mine are, and probably a lot more. It would probably sell more. But he had this idea of I think it was a combination of Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts. He was talking about like this, the name of it. I don't remember exactly the name he had for the idea he had. I don't know if he's still writing the idea or if he kind of scrapped it or put it on hiatus like I did with my Sonic fanfic way back then. But I remember the word rebirth, and it just kept popping into my head what that was, like just for ideas that I was coming up with during that same time. And as I was constantly coming up with weird ideas for me and the crew, just doing our own little self-indulgent nonsense things where we would have, most of the stories I had with us in it were weird comedic, almost sitcom situations. But every now and again, I would put us in a much more serious situation. If anyone's ever read Mega Tokyo, it was kind of like that. It started out with just goofy, like silly, like nonsensical situations, or like really short, like it happens in one day and then we reset like it never happened, or such a situation. Like the whole island thing and the island harpy that wouldn't stop following us. This character is essentially an intergalactic dictator, a vicious tyrant, not too dissimilar to like Frieza from the Dragon Ball series, and it was all based on this whole rebirth idea I had. This idea that something the whole idea in the story was that something really weird happened, like some type of fracture in the space-time continuum. Something split and just shattered everything apart, and as reality started to reassemble itself, things started to change. Different planets, different origins for people, and it turned like me and the crew into just like citizens of different planets and whatnot. Some of them became bounty hunters, some became space pirates, and I think one was still on Earth and ended up having to become a superhero. Eventually, it would converge into this big battle against this space tyrant who I named Iinala, who originally looked more humanoid. But then, as I was trying to come up with better designs on what in the world would a powerful space tyrant look like, I decided, since we were gonna have humanoids in this rebirth universe for this idea I had, Iinala would have like a camouflage like effect where she could disguise herself to look more human so as to not be too intimidating so that people would be a little more cooperative with her schemes and whatnot. You know, it's all business. It's all about making sure keep these planets and their inhabitants complacent, keep them calm, keep them from asking too many questions, and keep them from being too scared or frightened by her true appearance as to maybe try to fight back. Mainly because she already knows that they don't have the ability to fight back, and she would rather keep them alive and under her thumb as part of her ongoing or constantly growing galactic empire rather than, just killing them outright. It's better to have several allies than just a bunch of corpses or potential enemies. So try to get in their good graces. That was the idea. However, she was still a cold-blooded, ruthless, just beast of a woman who was, behind the scenes, plotting something more than just collecting planets for her empire. She was going to do something that might have completely screwed up everything about reality in general. I can't remember everything that I had in mind, but I think the idea was that Iinala was basically gathering as many forces as she could to eventually do a repeat of what caused the whole rebirth situation in general. I think what she was trying to do was she may have been responsible for the original shattering of reality and then it reforming in this way, and it reformed in such a way where Iinala was in the position to gain all this power and become an empress of an entire galaxy, pretty much. I think the idea in my head was she was going to do it again and reform it, to shatter reality even more than it already had been, and then reform it in such a way where she is essentially a deity. The idea was she was just hungry for more power, like the Merovingian in the Matrix. Like, what do people with power want? Usually more power. And eventually, there had to be a resistance going on. It was going to be a big, a big Star Wars level big battle that was going to happen. A fleet of ships here, a fleet of rickety ships over there, fighting, and people going into boarding a main ship to see what's going on, the main battleship crashing onto a planet, and a final battle between Iinala and whoever is going to be there, and Iinala sheds her her humanoid camouflage and shows what she really looks like, and it's just oh crap. I think that was the idea. Again, it was just a spur of the moment kind of idea originally, and it just kind of would just constantly build in my head, and ooh, that's an idea. Ooh, that's a good idea. Ooh, I should try that. But again, it was just something, that I would pass on to friends, something for them to read and that'd be cool. Imagine if we were in that situation, It's something I wouldn't actually, not something I would ever actually publish because it involved us and no one would care. It's just a little fun little idea that I had in my head. Who knows? Maybe for kicks and giggles, I'll depict us as that again or something. I don't know. Something to think about, or maybe I'll use this as an inspiration for an actual story with original characters, just like Iinala. Not sure, but we shall see. Anyway, with that said, let's go ahead and wrap it up for today. If you guys enjoy what I do here, don't be afraid to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you really want to support this little project, I do commissions, and I have a Patreon. Links below. Until next time, y'all take it easy, memento mori, and I will catch you all in the next one. Kill the feed.